How does it sound to get a 2-bedroom unit at Emerald of Katong at last year's pricing? So let's take a look at the layout first. You got two layouts of the 2-bedroom units at 624 square feet and 646 square feet. If you see, the difference is here you get a slightly wider corridor area. You can potentially enclose the kitchen if you want to. At the same time, this cabinet here is supported by a wall. Right, so with this, you can also put upper cabinets if you want to. But in this layout, in particular, you will not be able to do so because you'll be kind of like dangling in the air, right? But the good thing is for both layouts, you still can be able to fit a good size 4-seater dining, and that allows you to build a bench if you want to as well. I don't see much of a difference. I think main thing is the facing will also determine the premium that you pay for these two units. So 624 square feet pool facing unit might be roughly about the same price as 646 unit that's facing on the outside, right? So it really depends, especially for own stay, which one you might prefer in terms of the usage of the kitchen, but everything else is about the same. So when we talk about pricing today, this is what I want to share with you. So for developers, usually what they do is they go through 3 phases of prices they launch the units at, right? So for phase 1, definitely it's a point where they want to be testing the demand of the buyers in the market, right? So when they launch, they usually, for most bigger popular projects, the first day, phase 1 kind of launch day would likely be the cheapest, right? So you can see here that the Tembusu Grand and the first day, the volumes are quite high, right? And the lowest unit that was transacted is at 1.556. Along the way, they also kind of increase their prices a bit. So the phase 2 is where there is a bit of a price adjustment, right? Sometimes they announce that they do a 1% price adjustment, 2%, they just up by $1,000 or $2,000, right? So in this case, right after they have increased the rates for after a year or so, right, you see that the transactions went up to 1.768, and today the 2-bedroom units at Tembusu Grand, the highest transacted is at slightly above 2 mil. So you see the PSF from phase 1 to phase 2 to phase 3 inevitably has gone up a bit. So if we look at Emerald of Katong, right, if the entry price for Tembusu Grand is at 1.556 at about 2,005 per square foot. With the harmonization effect, we should be looking at Emerald launching at 2006, 2007, right? So assuming 2006 per square foot at 624, which is a smaller 2-bedroom units, you should be getting a unit at a quantum of about 1.622. So at 1.6 mil, that is kind of hovering around the phase 2 price, right? Which is still reasonable in today's market because Tembusu Grand has already proven to be selling at 2 mil for the 2-bedroom units, right? Likewise, for the 646 unit type, if I times 2006 per square foot, your quantum should be around 1.68 for the bigger 2-bedroom. And at the same time, that is still kind of in the below phase 2 kind of pricing. I think if the surrounding properties have already transacted at this kind of quantum, that means it's accepted in the market, right? If you're investing into an area where you are thinking of buying a 1.8 million 2-bedroom unit somewhere else, but surrounding properties have not been performing at this price or have never performed this price, I think that's something that you need to look out for a bit more to just analyze and see whether it's worth the investment or not. But in this case, with East Coast and some other freehold projects or neighboring 99-year projects, they have already performed up to this point. So anything lower, it gives you that cushion for profits in the future. So generally, I think if you talk about the smaller 2-bedroom units at a price quantum about 1.65 to 1.7, I think it still gives you a very good cushion for profits in the future, just purely because Tembusu Grand has already transacted at this area and the market is accepting this kind of price. So with that said, this will also depend on the queue number that you get during Valentine's Day, and that will determine what entry price you go for, right? So, but knowing this graph and knowing that Tembusu Grand has already transacted above 2 mil for the bigger 2-bedroom units, then I think anything lower will just be an indication of the kind of profits that you can get potentially after TOPs. So with that, we know that for 2-bedroom units at Emerald of Katong, that will be relatively popular. So if you have any family members who might be looking to purchase at the same time, there's also multiple purchase arrangements that you can hop on with your sibling or your family member where you can prove the proof of ownership. Then you can hop on a multiple purchase arrangement the day before. So that will help you increase your chances, especially for 2 bedrooms, increase your chances to be able to get a choice unit at a safe entry price. So I hope that helps.